Why aren't we living this right now?
Because we were waiting until I got done chewing on the cashews.
Yeah, so Craig's chewing cashews. At least he's not chewing gum today. That's something.
No gum today.
He said he had cashews hidden in his chipmunk.
Doesn't Nicole's hair look great today? She worked on it really hard this morning.
I did. It looks so nice.
Was it washed today or is it today a non-wash day?
No, I actually did wash today, so.
Oh,
yeah.
Wash day too. All right, folks.
I know.
All right, as the market starts heating up, it's time to talk about something fun. How about multiple offers?
Yeah, I think so.
All right, well, start talking about them.
Oh my gosh, are you waving to people?
Mm-hmm.
He's obsessed with waving now.
I like doing that. It's kind of fun.
I know you do, I can tell.
Okay. What we got for you guys today is 5 great tips on dealing with multiple offers. So, number 5, we're going to get right into it.
All right.
I always say
he doesn't want to waste time today. It's
not
busy
wasting
Friday.
time.
It's
Busy Friday. It's busy Friday. We got vacations to do this weekend. I heard it's going to snow tomorrow. Do you guys hear that?
Like tomorrow night.
Like the Armageddon. I heard we're going to get 47 inches of snow.
That's not true, I don't think.
You don't think so?
No.
Okay.
It's not a blizzard, right?
I think it is a blizzard.
No.
They said worse than, 76, I think?
No.
We're supposed to get 47 feet of snow.
So my birthday is May 31st. In 1 year, there was snow on my birthday. This better not be a snow on my birthday year is all I have to say.
And she turns it about her. Okay, everyone. Number 5.
Well, the show's about me.
Educate your customer.
Not you.
Right. Educate your customer.
Yes.
I think a lot of agents try to like sugarcoat things and maybe aren't as clear with their customers as they need to be when there's multiple offers. You really only got one shot. Submit your highest and best. Don't mess around. If you really want that house, you better write a good offer.
Well, and that's the thing. Like, yesterday I submitted an offer. It was multiple offer situation. And it took me a good 30 to 45 minutes to explain to that client all the different scenarios because they need to know what can happen if they do this, what can happen if they do that. We did add an escalation clause to that, which didn't even come into play, thankfully. We wrote a good enough offer for that. But, it all comes down to if the buyer doesn't know all the options, they can't make an informed decision.
Yeah, that's a good point. And really, I feel like we're failing at our job of being a good listing agent or buyer's agent if we don't disclose all those things to our customer and let them know, because it's the hardest thing. When you show a buyer a house, they fall in love with it, they make an offer on it, they get beat, someone else writes a better offer, and then they compare every other house to that house. It really becomes a complication.
It makes your job like 10 times harder when that happens. So go in with your best foot forward that your buyer can do or that your buyer is willing to do to get that offer.
Yeah, definitely. So be very, educate your customers. Number 4 we're going to go into is be clear and consistent with your agent communication. This is very important. If you tell one agent, hey, I'm getting an offer, or I received an offer, maybe that it was a contingent offer, and let's say you're getting 3 offers, you really need to share that same information with all the agents, and that's where sometimes I will blind copy the agent, or I'll do something like that. I always do that. Typically, I'll always do it in writing. So if I'm ever called out on something like that, I can show at least, I did exactly the same with all these people got the same information. Give everyone a fair chance. And quite frankly, that's especially if you represent the seller, you want to make sure all the people have the same information. So hopefully you get the best offer you can get.
Well, and that's just in the best interest of the seller. Thanks for interrupting me. It's cool. That's just in the best interest of the seller. Let me start again. You want to make sure that the seller, all parties know the same information so that they can come in with their highest and best that they're willing to offer, and hopefully essentially give your seller the best offer.
Yeah.
The best outcome for them.
Definitely. Be very clear. Do it in writing. Make it.
Writing's preferable because you know how it is. Chinese telephone. They told you something. You don't remember half of what they said. The list agent only remembers half of what they said.
I don't think you can use that term anymore, just for the record.
What?
Chinese telephone.
Oh gosh. What would you call it then?
I don't know. I think it's something different.
Sorry, I stand corrected.
Miscommunication, something like that. I don't know.
So if you tell 3 people the same thing in a room, they're all 3 going to say something different of what you told them, even if you told them the exact same thing. That's what I mean.
Yeah. Yes. We're doing it live, folks.
Anywho, whatever.
We're going to skip forward to the part where we're not getting in trouble with what we say. Number 3, multiple offer notifications. Your clients need to know there is some risk to using them.
Yes, absolutely.
Yep. I represented a seller. We're supposed to be getting 4 offers. I get one. I let the other agent know that there's 4. We have multiple offers or whatever. All the offers disappear. All buyers say, "Well, we don't want to compete," and they all left.
Yeah, I think in this market, buyers aren't having as much of a choice to do that because that's just how the market is. But when this first started, absolutely, you do need to let your sellers know that just because you put a multiple offer, there's pluses and minuses to doing multiple offers. Yeah, you might be able to drive up the price and get a better price, but if you have 3 offers, you might get 2 of them to walk, and the last offer that's standing is the worst one. So you never know.
Yeah, so be careful. As long as you explain it to your customer, anything could happen, and a lot of things, it's, what do they say? If it's meant to be, it'll happen.
Yes, that's true.
Yeah, so if everyone's going to disappear, and I always tell my seller this, hey, if everyone disappears because of multiple offer notification, they really didn't want the house that bad anyway.
Yeah, very true.
So keep that in mind, even though the sellers never like to hear that. If they have 4 offers and all of a sudden they have none.
Yeah.
You're going to be pretty upset about that, and rightfully so. So, number 2, be very careful. These are, and here's another thing too. If let's say you're a buyer, you represent the buyer, you didn't get the winning offer or whatever, don't get all mad at the listing agent. It happens, don't burn a bridge with an agent because your client got disappointed or something like that. Quite frankly, I hate to say this, but that means as the buyer's representative, you probably didn't do enough to make sure your client wrote the best offer they can. I always tell my buyers,
I don't know about that.
I always tell my buyers that, listen, you need to write an offer that's high enough to where if someone paid $1 more, you wouldn't be upset.
I do the same thing.
Yeah.
But sometimes the buyers can't. They have to write their best offer, right? So maybe they need closing costs.
But then there's no reason for me to be upset with the other agent.
That's true. Yes, I agree.
That's what I'm saying. I'm just saying be careful.
Yes.
Be careful. What else? What other things?
Be careful with what you're saying right now. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Chinese telephone.
Whatever.
Gee, Christmas. We'd like to apologize to the country of China right now.
Shut up, you're making it worse.
They produce most of the phones that at least the iPhone. That's what you talk on, right? All right, we gotta wave to some people. All right, keep going. Keep talking.
Just be careful in general. You're annoying on a Friday.
She made fun of the color of my shirt today already. That's what I walked into.
It's kind of like a poo brown. It's kind of like a poo brown, seriously. So like if you look at it, it's kind of like, I don't know.
Hey,
it's not a nice brown color.
Welcome to our last live show, everyone. Apparently we need some editing.
That's not true. You could say poo. I think we're all adults here.
No one wants to hear it. All right.
The color of your shirt? Yeah.
It's tan. It's tan.
No. It's a weird brown color. It doesn't look quite as weird on camera as it does next to me, but anyway.
Okay. All right. And the number 1 tip is be honest and be upfront. I hate that we even have to say be honest is the tip, but it's kind of like, we've all been in the situation where a house has been on the market 180 days. We go to show it. There's not even a card on the counter or anything like that. And we say, hey, I think our client has some interest in it. And the listing agent tells you, oh yeah, I'm supposed to be getting an offer. And it's like, really? Really? 180 days?
I have to say that does happen because this market, doesn't matter how long it's on the market, 300 and some odd days, your client will want to go make an offer and all of a sudden they have another offer. It's like, why?
You stole my thunder, but I was gonna also say we've all had a listing too that on day 180 all of a sudden we get an offer.
Yeah.
And that's weird. With no showings for a week, and then all of a sudden just someone that looked at it 3 weeks ago submits an offer.
Yeah. Agreed.
So it happens. What else you got? Is that it?
No, I think the big thing is just be honest with other agents in general. Kind of use that golden rule, do unto others as you would have done unto you. Don't ignore agents' phone calls. Don't, have them communicate with you and then tell them the 5th time you communicated, oh yeah, we have 4 offers on the table. Well, why didn't you communicate that in the first conversation? You know what I mean? Remember, guys, every communication that you have with every agent, you're building your own reputation. And the more that you are true and ethical and do all those things, the better reputation you're going to have in the business, and your other agents and vendors are going to want to work with you. They're not going to go, oh, that girl, when you call, you know what I mean? So I think that's a big thing with being honest and upfront.
Yeah, and I think, and I'll give a quick shout out to Tim Reed, who's probably not watching or anything, but he's a great real estate trainer. He was one of our Indiana state commissioners, real estate commissioners. But anyway, he was teaching a continuing education one time, and one thing that I said, or one thing that I thought was brilliant was, he said a lot of agents have this thought that they're like basically a bucket of information. Like they all this information goes into them and they decide what falls out to their client. And he said that's really the wrong way to do things. Yeah. We should be more like a hose or something like that. And all the information we get, we give to our client. So I think that's the way to kind of think about things. You know, we shouldn't keep them. You know, the transaction really affects your client a lot more than it affects you. You know,
like don't keep items secret. Like tell them the information. I do like Jeff Santos' point. Utilize a lender to make a stronger offer. Remember, you should be always touching base with your financial partner to make sure, especially in a multiple offer situation, do they really need $4,500 in closing costs? Can you get by with $2,500 because they're going to get tax credits and other things? If you utilize your lender partner, you're going to be able to make the strongest offer that you can. Oh, and thanks, Misty, on the orange. Thank you.
She was probably talking to me.
No, okay, that's poo brown, orange, and tan. I don't know. Just saying.
Gee, we need Christmas. I was the one who was always afraid of doing live shows, by the way, because I would say something bad. Apparently, it's all Hanson over here.
Basically, yeah.
What else was I going to say about multiple offers? I think, yeah, keeping the lender. Here's another thing to be careful of also. If you have like maybe an FHA buyer and you have to be in a situation where you're going to write over full price, it's something to have a conversation with the lender and possibly the buyer about if the house doesn't appraise at what you're writing the offer for. That's kind of an important thing. Sometimes that'll hurt. And if you represent the seller and that happens, you might have to have a conversation with your seller saying, hey, look, we might not be able to take this offer, even though it's the highest because it's FHA. Or maybe you do your due diligence as the agent. You call that lender first and find out if the lender thinks that might be a problem.
Yeah, I think overall the appraisal aspect is definitely something you want to think about. Remember, guys, it doesn't matter.
Thanks, Luciano.
Whatever. It doesn't matter how. Now you made me lose my train of thought.
It doesn't matter. I said everything that needed to be said.
That's not true. I was talking about appraisal. Oh, it doesn't matter how quick or rushed you are. You need to make sure that you are sending your client comps and explaining that appraisal point, especially when you're going over. Because the biggest disservice you can do to your client is not do comps, not think that it can stretch out, and then the seller doesn't have the funds to move back down to where you need to be, and the deal falls apart at 3 weeks, 4 weeks down the line.
Yeah, that is the worst.
For sure.
All right, everyone, have a great weekend. Thanks for everyone. Thanks.
I guess we're done.
Well, do you have anything
Craig's
else?
still waving.
Yeah, do you have anything else?
No, I just want to say thanks for tuning in. I think that might be our highest live viewer count ever right now.
Yeah, we got the most people ever watching.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
All right, as usual, guys, if you have any suggestions for shows, we'd be happy. I think this was a suggestion from
Brenda,
right?
Yeah.
So, we obviously would like to hear your feedback and let us know what you think of Craig's shirt when we get offline here. Have a good day.
No Russian collusion in our episode.
In
this episode.
Bye.